By now, it is no secret that trading card games have always held a special place in my heart. In this series, Raikourider and myself will be opening 24 packs or one box of a core Yu-Gi-Oh set. We will continue to open a set in chronological order week after week. We will use these cards to construct a deck and then face off against each other in a best 2 out of 3 match. Each match will have 3 prizes up for grabs, with 2 prizes going to the winner and 1 going to the loser. These prizes can range from individual wildcards, to starter or structure decks, to sealed booster packs, or even event cards that were only handed out at select tournaments. However, we cannot rest on our laurels. Between the ever-evolving nature of the Forbidden and Limited list, the cards that we ourselves choose to remove from the game, and the way that the game itself changes throughout the years, all of our matches will increase in complexity and also remain fresh. This is yet another Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Okay, so we actually managed to win last time, which is good. And hopefully we can keep that going, because we're still technically on a big loss because of that. In fact, I believe Rai said I'm now considered at a 4-loss streak because of how badly the streak had gotten. So hopefully we can win and kind of knock that out of there. Because if we could get at least trying to get close to parity in terms of general prizes, that'll be good. So, this is Starstrike Blast. This came out in November of 2010, and this set's actually fairly notable for a couple of big reasons. The first and foremost is that it introduces a new monster, the Synchro Tuners. These are a group of Synchro Monsters that have the distinction of also being treated as tuner monsters. And that usually means that you use them in order to go into bigger Synchro plays, and some of them give certain effects for doing so. There's one in particular that I will discuss in just a moment, but we'll get to that in a little bit. The other notable thing is they introduced the Raikourider here. These are a set of machine-type monsters that have to attack if able. If they're attacked while in attack mode, they switch to defense mode. And if they're flipped face up, they usually have some kind of effects and some kind of restrictions in place. Their boss monsters are actually pretty good, and overall, Raikourider in themselves are actually a fairly decent sealed format type of archetype to work with. So, if we can actually pull a few of these decent cards, that'll be pretty helpful for us. So we're going to go ahead, run through a few of the key commons and whatnot, and this set actually has quite a bit to unpack, so we're going to try to go through this a bit faster than normal. So, right off the bat, the first notable common we want to talk about is Swift Scarecrow. This card has the effect that if your opponent declares a direct attack, you could discard from this card from your hand to negate the attack and end the battle phase. So basically, this is a hand trap version of negate attack. It only works on direct attacks, but it's actually a really strong effect anyway, and hopefully we end up making use of that if we get these. Another notable card we really need to discuss out of here is actually going to be a bit down here, I believe. Yeah, here we go. Dark World Shackles. This is actually a really good stun card. The equipped monster can't attack, and it has its attack and defense dropped to 100. And during each of your standby phases, you deal 500 damage to the monster's controller. Basically, this is a good way to shut down a huge threat the opponent has, especially something like a really strong Synchro Monster, because if we throw this on something like a level 4, it's no big deal because then Rai could just summon a tuner and boom. But if we throw this onto his Black Rose Dragon or his Goyo Guardian or something like that, then lo and behold, he can't actually do anything with it, and it makes it a lot harder for him to actually make use of that monster. So, if we see Dark World Shackles, we're going to be in a very good position there. And the other notable common we need to discuss is actually up here in the short prints. Vanity's Emptiness. This card is degenerate. Neither player can special summon monsters, and if a card is sent from the deck or field to your graveyard, you destroy this card. This card basically reads, your opponent can't do shit for this turn, and then when you're ready, you do whatever you want. This card is degenerate, it is cancerous, and it was rightfully banned in the TCG and OCG. And something tells me this card is going to end up getting banned from our series really freaking quick as well. And mind you, this card used to be a $30 short print common. A $30 common. Think about that. So yeah, this card is probably gonna see some use, but God, it's gonna have to get banned quick. Okay, so into the rares, we actually have, again, a couple of decent ones to talk about. The big one is definitely Formula Synchron. This is a level 2 Synchro Tuner monster. It requires one tuner and one non-tuner monster, which basically means a level 1 and a level 1. When it's Synchro Summon, you get to draw a card, and then, during your opponent's turn, you can actually use this effect to Synchro Summon using him as a quick effect. So this actually works to help with some removal, bypassing some removal, as well as getting a big threat on the board right off the bat. So, definitely something to pay attention to. If we can pull one of these, that'd be kind of nice. It'd be a lot harder. It's going to be hard to summon it necessarily for us, but it's a good card to have on hand in case. And the other main rare that we have to discuss is actually this one, Droll and Lockbird. This card is actually not very useful at the beginning of this set. However, this card becomes extremely useful later down the road. In fact, if you even look over here, the Starstrike Blast rare version of this card is $18. That's how you can tell this card is still a really good card in general. This card has the effect that if a card is added from the deck to your opponent's hand, except during the draw phase, you could pitch this card from your hand and your opponent can't add any from the rest of this turn. Neither player can add cards from their deck to their hand. Which means, if you end up throwing something like Painful Choice or Rhoda down on the field, or hell, even something as simple as playing Pot of Greed, this card shuts down all other cards, like all other searching, which is insane. So yeah, this card is going to be something we definitely want to see at least one copy of, preferably a playset. And fun fact, in the offline series I had with Rai, I did not pull a single copy of this card in anything we had available for it. So yeah, we're definitely going to want to see that card now. Super rares, realistically, there isn't too much here that's like super significant. Honestly, Different Dimension Ground might be an interesting little tech option. This turn, any monster sent to the graveyard gets banished instead. And this could be a nice little trick for if your opponent's planning on comboing off. You can at least spring this on them and make them lose a lot of important resources. But generally speaking, this is about the only super rare that really matters. And then going down into the ultra rares, here we actually see a couple of very good ones. Glow-a-Bulb is hands down the best of the set. This card has the effect that if it's in your graveyard, you can mill the top card of your deck and then special summon this card, and you're only able to use this effect once per duel. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're only able to use... It doesn't mean that it's only useful in the graveyard. The fact is, it's a 1-level Earth Tuner, which is pretty good in general. And on top of that, you can even mill this out using something like Painful Choice. You could use it, you could dump it out with something like Reasoning. If they call wrong, you could special summon it that way. This card actually has some fairly useful niches, and this is actually a really sturdy card. The reason this card is actually banned still is because of the fact that it works very well with Crystron Halki Fibrax, which we're not going to see for a very long time. But if we pull Glow-a-Bulb, this card is going to be very good for us. And then we see another card, which is actually pretty strong, Tuning. This lets you add a Synchron Tuner monster from your deck to your hand and then mill the top card of your deck. What I like about this card is that it lets you add the tuner first and then mill, so that way you don't have to worry about losing the card potentially beforehand. And on top of that, we do have quite a lot of Synchron monsters that we could make use of if we wish. So this is actually a pretty helpful card if we could pull that off. And then the other big ones we see are Red Nova Dragon and Karakuri Shogun Bure. We definitely want to see at least one of these two bosses. And now looking at the secret rares, there's actually one that's not too bad. The rest of them are kind of iffy, but this one's actually not terrible. There's a card called Skullmeister. If a card is activated in your opponent's graveyard, you could pitch this card from your hand to the graveyard to negate that effect. This is actually kind of nice because if your opponent activates something like, say Glow Bulb, for example, they can mill their card, you've pitched this card from your hand, that card gets negated, they can't use Glow Bulb anymore. That's actually a pretty strong card. The rest of the Secret Rares are kind of meh. Side Blocker is kind of interesting as well. It lets you once per turn basically act as a prohibition until your opponent's next turn, which is kind of neat, but that's really about it. So we're going to have to go into the pack opening soon, but before we do that, there is one other thing we need to discuss, and that is the September 2010 list. This set has a new list in it, and it's going to be interesting because there's quite a few changes here. First and foremost, Substitute is now officially banned. We only had one copy, but this is basically a way to show that they understood what the Frog OTK was, and we're trying to get rid of it. Rescue Cat got banned. Brain Control got banned, so we're still stuck with one, but either way. Heavy Storm got banned, and then Temple of the Kings is actually banned. This card is actually, it's interesting. This card actually got banned before it actually came out in the TCG, which is hilarious. And then looking in the limits, Infernity Launcher got put to 1. That doesn't matter for us. Royal Oppression gets put to 1. I'm amazed that we still have Royal Oppression for ourselves, not gonna lie. Black Whirlwind gets put back to 1 from 2. Evidently, Black Wings are still too strong, so we're going to have to keep that in mind. For the semi-limits, Chaos Sorcerer goes back up to 2. Duloran Tiger King of the Ice Barrier goes down to 2. Snipe Hunter goes back up to 2. And these are the two big ones. MST and Magic Cylinder both go back up to 2. This is going to be very helpful for us. And then here's a card that's going to help Rye a lot. Black Rose Dragon is back to unlimited, so definitely going to have to keep that in mind. Meanwhile, we also see Cyber Dragon goes back to 3, and unfortunately I think we only have the 2 anyway, but still. But we're going to go ahead and get to the pack opening and see what happens. Alright, 24 packs of Starstrike Blast. Let's see what we can get. Mostly I'm looking for 3 Swift Scarecrow, 3 Vanity's Emptiness, 3 Droll and Lockbird, and I think that's about it. Maybe a Glow Bulb. Alright, so let's flip the first pack, see what we've got. And, okay, so we see a Dark World Shackles and a White Mare. These are actually 2 really good cards to see. And we see a Vanity's Emptiness as well. So first pack, this is actually really strong for us. So let's see what the next pack is going to carry. Second pack, we see another White Mare, and that's about it. Still not bad, though. Ooh, first super rare, Tyrant's Temper. Let's see. So you tribute a monster, and then all face-up monsters on the field that you own are unaffected by other trap cards. This is actually pretty good. That's actually a really good card. We'll have to keep that in mind. And I see a third White Mare, so we're already on a playset of that. That's good to see. Yes! Yes! We hit the Glow Bulb. Yes, we hit the fucking Glow Bulb. That is big. That is really big for us. Oh my god, yes. Because this is big. Not only does this give us a very easy way to get a tuner on the field, but we can even use this for metamorphosis into Thousand Eyes Restrict if we want to. So this is huge. And the rest of the pack, we see another Swift Scarecrow. Okay, so that's another good card out of here too. So 6 pack, we are in very good shape. Okay, we see another Swift Scarecrow. That's a big one. White Elephant's Gift is actually not too bad. You could send a face-up non-effect monster to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. So basically, if we were to summon something like, say, Gaia Force of Earth, then we could pitch it to draw 2, which, I mean, granted that's only going neutral, but, I mean, it's something. Especially if we have normal monsters later on that actually get played for something. Rest of the pack, though, yeah, kind of whatever. No way, dude. Double Glow Bulb. God damn. Okay. What is Star Siphon? Because I've seen this a couple of times now. When a Synchro Monster is special summoned, target one, create a Siphon token whose level becomes that monster, and that monster's level becomes 1. Oh! That's actually kind of interesting. I might have to keep that in mind now. Okay, so, yeah, Glow Bulb though, second one, that's really good. I'll definitely have to look and see how many Star Siphon we have, because that's actually a pretty good card. Ooh, yay! A Karakuri Shogun Model 00 Beret Ultimate Rare. That's pretty good. It does require a non-tuner machine, which kind of sucks, but it lets you special summon a Karakuri from your deck when it's special summoned, and then once per turn you can change a monster's battle position. That's actually pretty good. So if we actually want to run a Karakuri deck, that's actually a really good pickup for that. Unfortunately, I think we need a couple of Karakuris that are in super rare or higher, so we'll definitely need to hope for those. Okay. So we see a Formula Synchron, that's our first one. We wanted to see at least one of these, so that's a big one. Accel is kind of neat as well, and I think that's kind of it for this pack in terms of anything spectacular. No fucking way, dude. We hit triple Glow-Bulb. The craziest part is the fact that Glow-Bulb gets limited at some point, and then it gets banned pretty much permanently. So, like, we're only gonna get to use the 3 copies of this once. And honestly, even though we can only use the effect of Glow-Bulb once per duel, it really doesn't matter, simply because it's still a really good tuner in general. So I'm excited now, and Rai is gonna shit a brick. Ooh, a Power Breaker Super Rare. That's actually kind of interesting. If it's destroyed by an opponent's attack or card effect and sent to your graveyard, you could take a spell or trap your opponent controls that's face up, destroy it, and if this card attacks, it's changed to defense mode at the end of the damage step. So, I mean, it's not the worst card in the world. I don't know if we necessarily are going to make too much use of it, but it's not a bad card. Okay, so we have 3 packs left of Starstrike Blast, and honestly, we've hit some really crazy shit, so let's see what we can hit in the last 3. A Secret Rare Skullmeister. So this is an interesting card. So if a card effect is activated in the opponent's graveyard, you could send this from your hand to the graveyard to negate that effect. We can actually shut out, if Rai has a Glow-Bulb of his own, this can actually shut that out, which is kind of nice. Alright, second to last pack, let's see what we hit. A Power Giant Ultra Rare. Okay, apparently they really went back heavy on the holos. Unfortunately, I know Power Giant's not really a good card in general, so we're not really going to pay attention to it. I do see another Star Siphon though, so that's good. Alright, and last pack. What do we see? Another Gravity Collapse, and that looks like about it. So, all in all, not too bad. I mean, we hit triple Glow-Bulb. We hit, I think, triple Dark World Shackles, triple Vanities. I'm pretty sure we hit 3 Swift Scarecrow. So, yeah, definitely gonna have to look and see what we can come up with here. So, stay tuned on that one. Okay, so here's the deck we're bringing to tonight's duel, and let me just say, this is probably going to be one of my favorite decks yet. For those of you who don't understand why, let me put it this way. With the exception of a few of these cards, this is pretty much the deck I ran when I was in high school. Like, if you take out the Dark Arm Dragon, the Glow-Up Bulbs, and, well, obviously you take out the ban cards like Pot of Greed, Painful Choice, whatnot. You take those out, and you take out the big price card, this deck was basically what I ran in high school, which it worked really well for a while. It didn't work out against everyone. One of my friends did, in fact, pull 2 Dark Arm Dragon and ran the house with us, but aside from that, this deck actually fared pretty well in casual play, so we're going to hope that it works out here. So let's go over the card by card. First up, we have 2 Cyber Dragon. Basically, this is going to help us get our monsters out for synchros quickly. We also have a 3rd down in the side deck. 1 copy of Dark Arm Dragon because our deck actually has quite a number of dark monsters, which means that if we can actually get the requisite 3 in the graveyard, then we can actually drop him on the field before continuing our plays. 1 Destiny Hero Dasher. The idea of this card is basically going to be to get him in the graveyard so that we could summon a monster right away, and he's also a good target for Destiny Draw. 2 copies of Destiny Hero Malicious, same thing. We get 1 copy in the graveyard, we summon a level 6 monster out of it, and they're also good targets for Destiny Draw as well. 3 Glow-Up Bulb, I cannot fucking believe we pulled 3 of this thing. 3 Junk Synchron, this lets us not only get our level 2 monsters back to the field pretty easily, but he's a warrior and a tuner, which is a pretty good combination. We have 2 copies of Level Eater. This is an interesting card. If it's in your graveyard, you could pick a level 5 or higher monster you control, drop its level by 1, and then special summon this card. It does have the effect that it can't be tributed except for a tribute summon, but it can be used for synchro summons. So this is actually a pretty nice way to get a monster on the field if we need to. We have 1 copy of Plague Spreader Zombie, 2 copies of Quick Draw Synchron. This guy is going to basically be how we get into most of our synchro plays. And then 3 copies of Quibbled Hedgehog. For those of you who don't know what this card is, if this card's in your graveyard, you can special summon it if you have a tuner on the field, and then it gets banished when it leaves the field. So basically the idea is going to be to get a bunch of these in the graveyard, and then summon something like Junk Synchron to bring 1 back, bring the other 2 back, sync into, say, our Junk Warrior, and he's going to end up getting a boatload of attack power. 1 copy of Sangan, which can search up most of the cards in here. 1 copy of the Tricky, which, again, similar to Cyber Dragon, is there to get a level 5 monster easily for us to sync with. 1 copy of Witch of the Black Forest. Now, for the spells, we have 1 Dark Hole, 1 Destiny Draw. Basically, we pitch one of these 3 cards, draw 2. 2 Double Cyclone. This is to help clear out some of the back row Rai might have, and potentially use up a couple of cards that we don't need anymore. 1 copy of Foolish Burial. Our goal is to get a lot of these monsters in the graveyard, and this will help facilitate that. 1 Giant Trunade to clear the back row, 2 MST, 1 Painful Choice. If we resolve this, we are going to be setting up like crazy. 1 Pot of Avarice, because if we get a bunch of these in the graveyard, we can also cycle through them. 1 Pot of Greed, and then for our traps, we have 1 Call of the Haunted, 2 Limit Reverse. Rai has been on my case about using this card for a while now. And honestly, now's a good time to use it, because we could bring back a lot of our monsters here. 2 copies of Magic Cylinder, I am so glad we have the 2nd copy again, and 1 copy of Scrap Iron Scarecrow. For our side deck, we have 2 copies of Consecrated Light in case he's running Blackwings, 1 copy of Cyber Dragon to add to our other 2, 2 copies of Crebons because more Darks and more Tuners are always good, 3 copies of Battle Tune. This will help out, especially because of the fact that we have so many tuner monsters at the field as it is. This could help with a good battle trick. Emergency Teleport in case we need to get the Crebons out. 2 copies of System Down in case he's running Morphtronics. And then for our traps, we have 1 Imperial Iron Wall. This actually works to not only shut out his DD Crows, but also it means that if we summon back Quibbled Hedgehog, it goes straight to the graveyard when it leaves the field. So, or back to the hand, either way. But with Imperial Iron Wall, it means that Quibbled Hedgehog can actually be used multiple times. 1 copy of Starlight Road in case we really need protection, and 2 copies of Vanity's Emptiness. I highly doubt we're going to need to use this right now, but just in case. And for the extra deck, we have Ancient Fairy Dragon, Armory Arm, Black Rose Dragon, Colossal Fighter, 1 Formula Synchron. I don't know if we're necessarily going to use this card, but you never know. 1 Goyo Guardian, Iron Chain Dragon, 1 copy of Junk Destroyer. This is actually a pretty sturdy card. It's a level 8, and it requires Jug, Synchron, and one or more non-tuners. And when it's Synchro Summoned, you could target cards on the field up to the number of non-tuners that you use to summon this monster, and pop those targets. So this could clear out quite a few cards at once. One Junk Warrior, if we get him out and he gets a huge power-up, that's going to be nice. Unfortunately, we don't have ways of giving him Piercing, but that's what it is. One Nitro Warrior, one Red Dragon Archfiend, one Stardust Dragon, one Thought Ruler Archfiend, and 2 copies of Turbo Warrior. So guys, this is going to be interesting to see. Hopefully we could take Rai down and continue our streak, but ladies and gentlemen, it is time to duel.
Boy, what a set this was.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a real blast. No pun intended.
Oh, definite. Well, I wouldn't say a blast, because there's one certain card in here, and everyone knows what that card is.
True.
It's just a question of which one of us is going to get tired of it first.
Yeah,
nice $30 common.
Yeah, that's a good point, because this card is probably not making it out of 5D's era.
Well, the question is who's going to pull the trigger on it.
True. Let's see.
Ah!
Yes, okay.
This is such an important die roll, because there's a lot on the line. Like, the Structure Deck Merrick.
Oh yeah, that could be huge.
Temple of the Kings is broken.
Alright, I'm going to take the play.
Alright, I will be on the draw then. Good luck, duelist.
Good luck. Ooh, okay. Draw. Standby main. Interesting. I think I'm going to just do a humble T-set and pass.
Draw for turn, standby phase, main phase. Let's go ahead and run out of Sidra.
Ooh, okay.
Haven't seen me play this in a while, have you?
No, I haven't.
Bora.
Ah, you're on the Black Wings. Okay.
Alright, let's go to battle phase.
Okay.
Hit the face down.
Alright, you hit my Quillbolt Hedgehog.
Okay, so that will be
900 damage
900
there.
points damage, and then 21 direct.
Yep.
After combat, I'm going to set a back row, and then I'll pass the turn. Quillbolt Hedgehog, huh? Someone is on some kind of turbo tuner strategy, I see.
This is bad. I'm going to set another monster. I will set another card, and I will pass.
Alright, draw for turn. Standby phase, main phase. I mean, I think I just have to push here. Normal Blizzard.
Alright.
Special another Bora.
Okay.
Battle phase. 17.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm not even gonna let you see what that is. Wow.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I don't even know what you're up to. The worst part about this whole situation is you get your whole side deck against me, and I don't have a clue what you're up to.
Okay, that... Man, that sucks being a game down that fast, though.
That was pretty quick indeed.
Alright, draw. Standby main. Ugh. Okay. I'm going to... set a monster, and then I'm going to set 2 back row, and pass it to you.
Draw for turn, standby phase, main phase, and I'm sure this doesn't help your cause either.
Yikes. Yeah, that's good.
Activate Pot of Greed.
Yeah, Pot of Greed's good.
I'll take a couple. This look familiar? I have a Sidra.
Of course you do.
Normal summon Shura.
Alright.
Special summon Bora.
God, I hate that goddamn card. Alright.
Go to battle phase.
Okay.
Shura in.
Sure. You have my Cool Bolt.
Trigger Shura. I will grab a copy of... Pollute.
Okay.
Then we'll go 14.
Alright.
17.
I'll take the 17.
And 21, so I play around your damn gores. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I at least have the magic cylinder.
Alright, main phase 2, I got 2 back row for you. Go ahead.
And let's hit that one.
That was my trap stun.
Ooh, that's a big one.
It's a card you haven't seen yet, I don't think.
I don't think so. Okay. Okay. Well, first I'm gonna start by activating Giant Trunade.
Dang.
Alright, Dueling Book. There we go. Well, I might as well. I'm gonna run out my Junk Synchron.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And using his effect, I will bring back the Kobold Hedgehog.
You got it. Making 5. What 5 do you have? Do you have Magical Android now?
I feel like you should know exactly what I'm gonna do.
Oh, Junk Warrior. Right.
Battle. Let's go ahead and clear out the Cyber Dragon.
Sure, I'll take 2.
And I will pass the turn.
Draw for turn. Standby phase. Main phase. What is the line here? Is this lethal? Let go. Math.
Oh, Lord.
Attribute to make sure it's not light. It's 44, 32. Yeah, this is lethal. I'm gonna normal summon Blizzard.
Okay.
Special Bora.
Yeah.
Synchro. For Armed Wing. Go to battle.
And you're gonna crash.
Crash him, and then this is exactly lethal.
Fuck you.
What can I say? It's Blackwing, it just does this sometimes.
I'm banning this motherfucker immediately.
I'm actually really curious why you hit Sorako and not Bora, because like, Bora is so good.
I'm gonna have to show you my deck list later, cause
I will let you in on one dirty secret.
And what's that?
I thought you were actually going to play Blackwings yourself because you have that Blackwing core. So I played a Blackwing deck that was teched out for the mirror.
Oh, okay.
So you might remember that trap stun.
Oh, you got a playset. Nice.
Those are main deck.
Yeah, must be nice having at least one trap stun.
Those were also main deck.
Yeah, I'm not entirely surprised.
I figured the best way to be able to win this match would be to try to win the Vanity's Emptiness War. Because I figured we would both be on a strategy similar to this, but, like... I guess what I'm seeing from this deck is you were just trying to do silly things with Junk Warrior.
Well, it's not necessarily Junk Warrior himself, but it's more... Basically, I have a lot of stuff to work with in terms of, like, the actual warriors themselves.
Oh, yeah, that would do it. That's actually kind of neat. I'm sure you got...
Including him.
Oh, you got Junk Destroyer!
Yeah, that came from that last deck I've got to pick up.
Wow, your deck looks really cool. It just unfortunately got ran over by a Blackwing, and if you had just one good back row, I was so scared because I was overextending so hard.
Here's the sad part. It's the fact that, like, okay, game 1, I actually had Destiny Hero Dasher, Malicious, Destiny Draw, all that in here too to help cycle through it. My opening hand, I ended up with Malicious and I think Dasher. Yeah, it was like Dasher, Malicious, a Level Eater, the Quibbled Hedgehog, Pot of Avarice, and then I drew into the second Malicious. So I basically bricked.
Mega bricked. That's like a mega brick. Jeez, no wonder that game was over so quick.
And then this time I kind of had a similar issue. It's just that I didn't really have a way to deal with the swarm itself.
Yeah, if you had anything to be able to deal with this nonsense, because I was so sunk because I just went all in and it worked.
Basically, my goal was going to be like set up my graveyard if I can, or set up the field. Because fun fact, Quibbled Hedgehog works really well when you have that on hand. Because you get to recycle it constantly.
Oh wow, that's really good. Imperial Iron Wall is kind of crazy.
Especially when you combine them with something like Painful Choice, where you could clear out, all the Quibbled you need, or you could clear out something like, I don't know, like that.
Are you kidding me? You got a bulb?
Or that.
What?
Or that.
You got 3 bulb?
Yep.
3 glow-up bulb?
I hit 2 ultras and an ulti.
Oh my god!
And you know what's fun? These stay at 3 for like the next 3 matches, and then they go immediately get banned.
At least it's a hard once per duel, so you can only use it once, but still.
But they're still a really strong tuner in general.
Just... Wow. Did you get any Droll?
Not a single one. I hit, literally, including Glow-A-Bulb, I hit playsets of everything else I wanted to see, but I didn't hit a single Droll and Lockbird, which kind of sucks.
I did not get a single Droll and Lockbird either.
Which, I mean...
How did we both miss Droll and Lockbird? It's a rare!
Yeah. That's honestly hard luck, though. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, this is gonna be something funny. And this was basically what I was like, I need to see his reaction to it, because 1 bulb is already messed up. But 3? Oh, man.
Demon, go play Plant Synchro.
Oh, I would if I could, trust me.
Synchro. Oh, wait, you banned Gigaplant. Alright, well, that was quick.
Yeah, that was... This might be the easiest episode to edit, not gonna lie.
No kidding. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and head over to the prize wheel now.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same.
Recording. recording has started. So this was one of the reasons why this duel was so critical, because not only was the Structure Deck Merrick on the line, which has Temple of the Kings, among other silly cards in it, there was a promo Dark End Dragon, which was a magazine promo. This used to be a Shonen Jump prize card, but now this is the first public release of it, and we only really get 1 or 2 reprints of it, and they're both very unlikely to get because they're in very large packs. Yeah. So I will be really happy to pick this up, because I've been a little bit lacking in the Synchro 8 department other than just big things. But the big thing that we have been looking out for in this was the 2010 Collector's Tins. There are 5 tins in 2010, and each one of them has 5 promos. The way we're going to be handling these tins is these tins will be drafted as units. So we'll be able to take the Majestic Red Dragon tin, the Blackwing Dragon tin, the Draco Akess tin, the Shooting Star tin, and the Red Nova tin, each as units. And each of these have extremely powerful cards in them.
Oh, definitely.
And it's going to be difficult to decide on, but I think my first decision is going to be a pretty easy one. And I am going to grab the Dragon Knight Draco Akess tin first, because that has a Dark Arm Dragon in it, and I do not have that card. So I'm going to go ahead and snap up the Dragon Knight Draco Akess tin.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm actually kind of disappointed, because that means you're also getting the Wicked Dreadroot, which is actually one of my favorite side cards, basically. So I'm definitely sad to see that.
And I think that's one of our only accesses to that card as well.
I think so, because it was a Shonen Jump promo before that, and I think that was it. So, alright, so with that being the case, now I have to make a decision. And there's actually quite a couple of important ones here, because the Majestic Red Dragon tin, for example, has Battle Fader and Stratos, which are both really good. However, I think my best choice would honestly be the Shooting Star Dragon tin. Not just because it's also got a Stardust Dragon in it, but also that kind of helps keep you from having a Stardust Dragon a little bit longer. So it makes it a little tougher in that one. Plus, especially because you also have 2 Starlight Road, so having Stardust Dragon on hand is even more terrifying then.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but remember those Gold Series 3-packs?
Oh no.
I pulled a Stardust Dragon out of one of those. Joke's on you, buddy!
Shit. Well, that's what I get for trying to be a dick. Alright. Well, you know what? That's fine, though. 2 Stardust is still good.
Alright, then this being the case, I think I'm going to snap up the Majestic Red Dragon tin to grab myself another Stratos, which that card eventually does come off the list. And I'm going to go ahead and grab Battle Fader as well.
Yep. See, now this is where the last challenge comes in, because I either pick the Blackwing Dragon tin to keep you from getting Vayu, or I pick the Red Nova Dragon tin, which aside from having a second Red Dragon Archfiend, isn't really all that useful. But I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Red Nova Dragon tin. At least Red Nova Dragon, I have potential to make use of it. Whereas Vayu, realistically, I'm not going to make use of it because I don't have... I think I have like 1 Blackwing Synchro and that's it.
I have the only Blackwing Synchro I have is an Armed Wing, and I can't make it because Sirocco's banned. But that will be useful later on once we get to some of the later sets that have the Assault Blackwing Synchros.
True.
And I was okay with either tin because because the Red Nova tin also has Magician's Valkyria, and you might remember I have a pretty strong Spellcaster core that I can draw on as well.
Also true. I forgot about that.
So I'm pretty happy with these pickups, and with that, I'm going to go get a couple spins of the wheel and see what we're going to get.
Yep, and I'm going to have to do the same. So, yay, catch-up wheel again. Okay, so yeah, that did not go as planned, and that really sucks. But we get 2 spins on the catch-up wheel, so let's see what we can hit. Hopefully we hit something good here. Oh. That's interesting. 6 packs of reprint or side set. Interesting. So unfortunately, it turns out the side set / reprint sets are kind of garbage right now. Which actually really sucks. So, our best choice here is Hidden Arsenal, and that's only because there are 3 Synchro Monsters in the secret rare slot that might actually come in handy. They are Brionac, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, Mistworm, or Ally of Justice Catastor. Pretty much everything else in this pack sucks, but this is the best options we've got of something potentially reliable. So let's flip the first pack, and we see nothing of interest, so that kind of bites. Second pack. Again, nothing. Third pack. Fourth pack. Yikes. Fifth pack. Okay, sixth pack, and well, I mean, we see an Airbellum, so I guess that's decent, but yeah, these 6 packs kind of sucked. Alright, so that was a wash. Second spin. Let's see what we can hit. Please no reprint packs. Oh. Okay. We'll have to figure out what we want for that then. So, after some careful deliberation, and by careful deliberation I mean basically flipping a coin between this thing and Solemn Warning, we came down to picking Scrap Dragon. And the reason I say that is because basically there are 3 cards that are decent available to us going back from Crimson Crisis, which were Scrap Dragon, Effect Veiler, Solemn Warning, and Drill Warrior. And even then, Drill Warrior is kind of a meme pick, mostly because of the fact that we can't really do Dandy Warrior since we don't have Dandelion. So it basically came down to us having 3 decent picks to work with, and Effect Veiler, as neat as it is, realistically speaking, is not super effective for us right now. At least this, though, can actually be some kind of use, so this is what we're sticking with, and hopefully we can make use of Scrap Dragon later down the road. Next episode, though, is Storm of Ragnarok, and I am excited for that one because that's going to have one of my favorite archetypes in it. And it's going to be a bittersweet episode because this is going to be our last Turbo Duel. So, yeah, that's going to be something. But we'll see what we can come up with, and until then, we'll catch you guys next week. Have a great day. Oh, there we go. Have a great day, everyone.